There is a person who wants to be like other people, but they fake everything that they do. So are they really a person or are they just a puppet? And well, that especially goes to larpers, people on the internet who try to pretend that they are something that they aren't. And I've dealt with a lot of them in my time, and even I, at some point, was a larper myself. And before I even begin anything, if you don't know what that means, that's like live action. It used to mean live action role playing from like these medieval fantasies or whatever, but now it just means like you're just faking whatever you want to do. And well, people use it on like communities, particularly just to gain attention. Like, at one point, if you see posts or anything like that that just talk about like the most broad strokes of any game genre or whatever, they're probably LARPing, especially when it comes to this weird visual novel game that I see all the time where it has this like little kid. And I've seen this picture before, but I never really played the game. And I was thinking about playing the game until I looked at that it's $30. And what's so good about this game being like fucking $30? And so I looked even further. Apparently, it's a deep philosophical game where it's like, and with these like anime characters or whatever. I really don't know anything about it. I only really know that it's a part of this like LARP community. Not even that, because I've seen posts about the people who are actually playing this game, and they actually have a deep love for this game. But compared to like the average person who's seeing this shit, they really don't care. This is like, it's not like I haven't seen that boy multiple times. Apparently, he's like some mass manipulator or whatever to the community, and that's why they all hate them. And also, when I look further into it, about like downloading and installing it, this has like a bunch of scenes that are not even in the Steam version because it's not allowed, because they had to censor it, because I mean, what's going on? A lot of things that I can't even say. So no, this brings up to the question too, in general, why are people, being like this? And well, I mean, I think it's like the most obvious reason is because, a lot of people like jabbing on people's, niche interests or whatever. We've seen an explosion of people using like those kinds of words, or trying to act a certain way, that is, let's say, not exactly like usual to get each other's, to get someone's attention. And you've seen that niche interest plague, where it's look at my funny weird interest, and it's like Target or Walmart, like a fucking grocery store. And it all just like jabs at those people who really enjoy that kind of stuff and appreciate it. But you know I don't get, I get why, but I don't get why people keep pushing it on, because it's the extroversion of introvert introversion. It's an extroversion of introversion. Basically, you're taking something that is rather something that some one person would like, or a small group of people, and trying to put pin on everything. And I see this a lot, dude, and I'm so sick of it. Every single time that I see like a LARPer or any sort of way, and I remember saying and critiquing about, someone LARPing in a previous video that I made, but come on, I was just following the herd, and he's a whole different person. He just very much seems like one, but he day is an example of that. I don't know why that people started to use a random Russian song that a guy made, for the audio, and especially all the other ones I see where it's just like the music is playing, and it's just a guy that was like a manipulator. Oh, who was just like changing costumes every second. So, but particularly Jewish costumes. I seen a lot of them where he's just like wearing traditional Jewish clothing. Uh, yeah. Anyways, because this isn't any different to like a lot of other things that happen in internet history in the past few years. And you know it happens, it happens a lot, even like in real life, where people can't usually like one like group or like one small thing. Like, have you seen Nerds? Like the gentrification of Nerds, where it's like now it's just like some hot guy with glasses, when it's when a nerd could literally be at anything. Like, for example, I'm a nerd. I don't wear glasses. I'm not particularly hot or anything like that. I just say I'm a part of that, community. But, you know, 'cause I don't have glasses. I guess I'm not considered a nerd. I guess I'm like a fucking dork or whatever. And, I hate that this, happens often, where these, introversions are just getting like absolutely just diluted to, the sums of the parts that they're made out of. And they only recognize that, oh yeah, this sort of genre or this sort of kind of person, is a loser, or is someone who is not really, high standing in high standing in society. And they're not, well, I guess that the saying, I'm trying to jab at them, but I am one of them. So I know that the most of these people who play those kinds of games aren't like the best people in the world. They have a bunch of personal issues. And it's different, and it's weird, because when all of these sort of outliers, then they come in and try to, like, I guess purge this kind of genre. Well, I mean, they're not really doing it, because I'm pretty sure that nobody who's making these memes are ever playing the game. They're just loading up that one boy and just, AI generating Jewish costumes every single second, and posting that sound. But yeah. Another thing to add on to that, a lot of people think that if you're introvert or whatever, and you like a specific thing, or you're just, I guess for the most part, if someone is just quiet, they think that you're the smartest person in the world. Like, my family think that I have like some sort of hidden intellect that's inside my brain, which, you know, all there really is, I'm a normal person. I like what I like, but there's nothing fancy about me. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Oh, not the brightest tool in the shed. I'm a normal person, and since I'm just quiet, they think that I'm like some other being, and it's like that's just smarter than all of them. And a lot of people think that being quiet or wearing glasses or just trying to look academic or in a certain way is going to make you smarter. And think fast, but it isn't. I don't think going outside and getting a quarter zip or whatever fashion wear that makes you look formal is gonna make you any more formal than you were already at that point. That is the same thing that applies for any of these games. And the thing about it is that I do plan on playing, this wonderful everyday thing, because it's an odd thing, because I start using these LARPing games as, avenues for me to actually play those kinds of games. Because, recently I've played Cry of Fear, and, well, it was a good game, but I seen a lot of TikToks about people who didn't even play the game, just jab about it. And another thing that I'm pissed off about this is with Resident Evil, because there's this character which I mean, it's like literally the most popular horror game out there. Everybody knows about it. Leon Kennedy, this guy right here. And well, a lot of girls, I think it's just particularly just girls, and I think it's only just girls who see this guy. They get into this fandom just to play whatever game that he's in and make TikToks where it's just them, like, I don't know, like, just like drooling over him. And I see this account on TikTok and on YouTube, where just this guy saying, "Hey, come on," like, just saying the most just horrendous shit. And I obviously know what side he's on. I know what he's trying to play as. I see right through the whole entire thing. And people the reason why people act like that, act like a certain way that they aren't, is to capitalize and to bring in other kind of people. You know, the gay guy who's not actually gay, the nerd who's not actually a nerd, the larper who's not a larper, larps for anything. He larps for purpose of getting something that he wants. And that's why he does that. I don't think people fake their way out of into something because they're into that thing. Because if they were really into that thing, somewhere along that point, they would actually stop LARPing. Because it could only become so LARP can only LARP so far until it becomes like an actual interest in whatever the LARPer is LARPing to. And they don't allow that sort of bridge to happen, so they just keep LARPing on into the next thing. And wonderful every day is just another example of that. And I know that I'm probably just repeating my word. I am really just repeating my words. Uh, but yeah, it's just like, come on, just don't LARP.